folks, how you going? Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, folks, it's Hump Day. Yes, we're running today. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. A couple of interesting things have happened during the week. I've just gotten back from a place called Roxby Downs, which is in an area called Adelaide, or not Adelaide, South Australia, a state called South Australia, and I believe Roxby Downs is relatively north of South Australia, so it's one of the most northern, or it appears to me to be one of the most northern areas. It's right up near the start of the Simpson Desert, which is a nice place. So I borrowed a four-wheel drive, and I had to go and do some training there, and I went out on the site. And as I went out on the site there, they had done some work on the site, and driving along, I looked at this lovely white vehicle which had now become red because of the red sand. Fortunately, on the way home, it started to rain, and by the time I got into Adelaide, it was raining, and the car was now white. So thank goodness for the rain. It washed the car for me. I didn't have to wash it. Anyway, folks, that's my story. As I said, last week I was out in Roxby Downs, which is why I couldn't actually put up a show, but you know what the good news is, we will have a show coming up this weekend. We've managed to organise that Friday evening. For those of you across the pond, Friday evening we will be available to do a show, and that'll be awesome. So that'll be Saturday brunch time, our time here in Melbourne. Anyway, folks, it's Hump Day. So what's going on with you with Hump Day? I know there's a few of you out there watching. Put up a comment. Let's have a chat. But at any rate, the good news is, well, we're losing temperature here. I mean, it is getting cool. We were on about 16 degrees C today. And we've been having single digits in the mornings. It's been relatively cold. Those of you across the pond are heading into summer, so you guys are having multi-digits, almost up to 3 digits with your temperatures and so forth. So you guys are getting out there starting to cruise. So that's fantastic. Right now in Australia, cruising has shrunk down, and there's only 2 ports that I know of that are actually doing any cruising out of. One being Brisbane, and the other one being Sydney. So those are the times that we've got going. Having a look now at the New South Wales cruise port. I'm just bringing up the schedule for cruise ships that have been in today and this week. Looking at the schedule tells me that the Carnival Splendor came in today this morning at 6 o'clock and left at 1600, 4 o'clock from the overseas passenger terminal. The next ship that's going to go in there, I got a machine that's gone real slow. But the next ship that's going to go in there will be, well, there doesn't appear to be a ship for another, the Pacific Adventure, which will go in on Saturday, the 27th of May, coming in at 6:30 a.m. and leaving at 1600. In addition to that, we will have the Carnival Splendor back in on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. and that will be leaving at 1600 on Sunday, also from the overseas passenger terminal. By the way, the Pacific Adventure is going to White Bay, so that's going to be awesome. And then it comes in again on the 30th of May. The Pacific Adventure comes in on the 30th of May at 6:30 a.m. and leaves at 1600 from the overseas passenger terminal. And that's all for the month of May, going in and out of Sydney. So there we go. It's going to be an interesting time frame. In Brisbane right now, they're looking at um, the next ship coming into Brisbane will be the Pacific Encounter on Saturday, the 27th, and that'll come in at 6 a.m. and will leave at 1600, so 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's Brisbane right now, and it seems like everything is busy getting quiet and closing down. So we will be basically our cruising season is over, to be honest. So that's cruising right now down under. Hopefully, we'll get some more exciting stuff happening fairly shortly. Now, um, the next step is what happens in the future. I mean, we've been hearing a lot of news coming out of the U.S. about new ships coming on in, new cruise ports opening up, Galveston getting its run for its money, plus a couple of others. So awesome things happening in the U.S. Also, we believe you've now got record ships going up to Alaska. That means before it was, I believe you used to have something like 4 ships that did the Alaska run. Now I believe there's up to 12 ships going out to Alaska, which really sounds exciting. And so, well, what can I say? If you've got that excitement happening, more the merrier, let me say. Let me say. So, what else is happening? What's news? Well, news from here is that not much is going on in the way of cruising. There are cruise terminals that are being rebuilt. We believe, I haven't seen any changes yet, but we believe that Station Pier here in Melbourne is going to be updated, and that's supposed to happen now, either now or coming into the new season as well, purely to take on board ships such as the Resilient Lady, which is supposedly coming in at the end of next year. Once that ship has done its inaugural, so it'll be coming down under, which will be awesome. We look forward to that ship coming in. It should be a great deal of fun. Yeah, not only the Resilient Lady, but apparently we're getting the Grand Princess, the Majestic Princess, a number of others. There's a couple of celebrity ships. So there's going to be quite a bit of shipping happening starting in September of this year. In the meantime, we're not sure whether or not when you come on board those ships, we will be requiring masking, because right now we don't need it's suggested that any cruise ship that leaves Australia does need some masks, but it's not required. But you do need to have a negative rat test. So we're hoping that there will be no more tests required. In fact, interestingly enough, here that the pandemic seems to be on the quiet side, and so a bit of news from our point of view here is that our state, the debt that our state accumulated during the pandemic has certainly gone almost to the same level, if not higher, than the national debt. So the current state government here is busy putting all sorts of things in place to try and recoup some of that money. So it's going to be an interesting time frame here, how that affects cruising, how that affects a lot of other things. We're not 100% certain, but you know what? It is what it is, and so we'll keep moving on from there. Having said that, folks, we just want guys to get down under and come and see what's going on in terms of getting on board a cruise ship, because I mean, you come down under, you look at New Zealand, get a cruise to New Zealand. I mean, that's exquisite. The best thing about cruising down under here is not only do you get into Australia and New Zealand, but the places are so vast and there's just so much to see. The cruise ships coming in, they will give you an opportunity to get a look at what you need to come in and do again. For example, if you came in and you looked at, you did a circumnavigation cruise around Australia, you'd get to look at places such as Melbourne, Sydney, Hobart, Launceston, Eden. Getting further north, you'd be running into Brisbane, Darwin, maybe even Cairns. I believe it stops there. Then Broome, coming around, you'd stop in at Perth, Fremantle, which is part of Perth. You'd then be moving on down to Kangaroo Island, Adelaide. You start looking at those places. You stop at the location and you get your one day off to have a look. See, it means you've got to come back and do this country more intensively. Whether you do what some other people I know are doing, going on the GAN, which is a train that runs between Adelaide and Darwin, takes 3 days to go up, 4 days to come back. Or you do the Indian Pacific, which goes from Sydney to Perth, and you have a look at the country that way. You'll just see how vast and extensive this country is, and just how beautiful. I mean, like I said, I was up near the Simpson Desert. It is enormous. I was teaching first aid at a mine site. This mine site sits on a sheep station. This sheep station apparently is 27,000 kilometers. Right, that's a huge place. So based on that, folks, you'd want to be coming in, you'd want to be watching, you'd be wanting to see this country, and just get a taste of it. It is absolutely awesome. Now, I believe that both the GAN and the Indian Pacific do take you on their trips, and they do some excursions from those from those trains, and you get to see some of the outback and and you get to taste some of Aussie cuisine, and a bit of fun there with what's going on in the outback. So it's an amazing view. So yeah, come down. You've got to come down and see. Now, in terms of New Zealand, I mean, God, there's just so much to see. That place is just amazing. You might do a cruise that takes you from Australia and goes into places like Milford Sound, takes you down to Port Chalmers, which is the port just outside of Dunedin. You might go up to Napier, or even Wellington, or Akaroa, Auckland. You go there and then you realise you've just got to come back in, fly in and go with a camper van and go from top to bottom and just experience the country. I mean, to come down under, for anybody coming from across the pond, to come down under, you need at least a month. There's just so much to see, so much to do. And I mean, even looking at places like Tasmania, where it's absolutely incredible, it is awesome. You just need to be there. Well, speaking of Tasmania, look who's just popped in. Radio Jonesy, how you going, mate? Nice to see you. How have I been? Mate, I've been quite busy. I've been interstate into South Australia, been up to Roxby Downs. So there we go. Having fun. But as I say, to all the people across the pond, you guys have got to come in, have a look at the country, look at Tasmania. We call it the Apple Isle because it looks like an apple, but more importantly, man, it's got some amazing views there round Launceston, round Hobart. In fact, the whole place is just amazing. And some really good innovations like, or I should say some really good imports into Tasmania, like, who's this guy? Radio Jonesy. Yeah, or Indie Radio, just to name a few. But at any rate, folks, it's awesome. Get in there. Come on down. There's so much to see. Now, talking about coming down and so much to see, Jonesy, this is up your street as well, mate. You got to get yourself organised to come on to the Down Under Cruises and Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise happening on the 2nd of January 2025. We want everybody to come in before New Year's Eve, just so that we can actually get to have a look at the fireworks that happen on New Year's Eve in Sydney. And then 2 days later, we're jumping on a cruise ship going to the South Pacific. Jonesy is saying the Northwest Coast is awesome. I've been watching some of your video, Jonesy, and I must agree with you there wholeheartedly. Unfortunately, I didn't make any comments in the chat there, but I'll tell you what, it makes me want to come down to Tassie even more. And so, folks, please take my advice. Don't do what I've done. Do what I'm going to do, and do what I say. Go visit Tasmania. Check out people like Jonesy, and you'll see it's an amazing place. Yes. So 2nd of January 2025, sailing out of Sydney, going to the South Pacific. We're going to be taking in Fiji, Vanuatu, New Caledonia. The ship leaves Sydney, heads off to Noumea in New Caledonia. After that, and I don't know if you guys know anything about Noumea, or New Caledonia, but New Caledonia was was a French colony, and it's still under French law. The French just put in, it's just like still a colony, and they do everything under French law. So you go in there, and it's amazing. It's an interesting experience. From there, the ship goes off to I think one island in Vanuatu, Mystery Island, and then from Mystery Island, I'm not looking at the itinerary in front of me, unfortunately, but it goes from Mystery Island to Suva in Fiji. Then from Suva, it goes to Lilufu, I think it is, which is another Fijian town. And you know what? When we go into Suva, Ilana's putting together the most amazing excursion. That being taking you to places that she's actually been living in. So that's going to be an amazing trip. And then from there to the next Fijian city, I think it's Lilifu. And then from there to Port Vila in Vanuatu. And then we head home. A fantastic 15-day, 15-night, 16-day cruise. So we're going to have the most amazing time together. And some good friendships will be made. Some lives will be changed, because we'll be spending time with people like the excursion, like the recipients that we've dealt with in the past. I'll give you an example. When we went on our Carnival Horizon cruise in October of last year, we had the privilege of being with Kenneth Oakes, and Kenneth was with, we had like about 30 other people there. That was awesome. And we became lifelong friends, and I can tell you every one of them had their lives changed. And anytime you go on a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise, somebody's life gets changed. So it becomes absolutely unbelievable. You need to experience it. It's not only fun, but it's amazing. You grow, and people grow as well. So yeah, find your way. Come and join us. Come and spend time with us. We're early enough. The cruise is going to be in I think it's 515 days. Let me just check my figures. No, 591 days away. And Kenny's got his cruise happening in 170 days, which is a bit of an interesting one, because that's a full circle. Not only was he a recipient, but now he's going to be a host to the Fordman and Destination Delights group cruise. That's in 170 days. Then we've got Amethyst Haze, Amy from Amethyst Haze. She'll be on the Carnival Breeze in 515 days, and we're going to put a recipient on that one too. And then we've got our group cruise happening in 591 days. And then ocean to ocean travel, Bruce is doing a group cruise going from Seattle to Alaska in 752 days. And that is also going to be a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise. So that's going to be amazing. And really, folks, if you're watching this on the Helping Hands for Cruising channel, please get involved. What we need now is we need some recipients, but more importantly, what we need now is some funds. So, guys, dig deep, see what you can do. Let's get some money popping in so that we can get some more people on board a cruise ship having the most exciting change of life and time of their life, not as well as. So, right now, Down Under, we're looking forward to getting the Celebrity Edge, which will be this year and next year as well. We're looking forward to getting the Resilient Lady, which will be the Virgin Cruises ship that should be coming in fairly shortly. We're looking forward to having the P&O cruises, all three of them, the Pacific Dawn, Pacific Encounter, and the Pacific Adventure, all fully loaded and people going around and enjoying time. I know that during the winter months, the P&O cruise ships will be running around on various excursions and various cruises, so that should be fun. And I think if I have a look, I might be able to tell you what cruises are going to be doing what. June 2023 tells me that we've got a P&O ship it's going out of Brisbane, and it's going to be doing, it's June the 3rd, and it's going to be doing Airlie Beach. So that's 4 nights. It goes from Brisbane to Airlie Beach and back to Brisbane again. Excuse me. And then on the 4th of June, the Coral Princess is going to be doing a 52-night cruise going from Sydney to London. So it's doing a repositioning cruise. That is going to be an absolutely awesome trip. We've then got let me see. We've then got well, the Coral Princess will be stopping off it'll go from Sydney to Brisbane, then from Brisbane straight through to London. We've also got going out of Sydney on the 12th of June, the Pacific Adventurer, which will be doing a Queensland runabout. So it'll be going in from Sydney to Moreton Island, the Whitsunday, so Airlie Beach, Cairns, Willis Island, and then back to Moreton Island, back to Sydney. We also have the Carnival Splendor will be sailing out of Sydney on the 13th of June, going to New Caledonia and Vanuatu. And then the Pacific Encounter is going to be doing a 3-night comedy weekend going out of going out of Brisbane on the 17th of June for 3 nights on a cruise going to nowhere, and it's all comedy. So that's going to be exciting. Then we've got the Splendid doing on the 21st of June, going out of Sydney. It's a cruise again to Queensland. So that's going to be going Sydney, Moreton Island, Airlie Beach, Cairns, Willis Island, and then back to Sydney. That's 9 nights. And then the Pacific Adventurer on the 26th of June, going out of Sydney, will be doing Moreton Island and back, and that is a 4-night cruise. So there's a whole bucket load of cruises right now for this month that are happening. So we'll just need to get some excitement happening, get some more cruises up, more people on board, and yes, come and spend some time with us. Jonesy is saying, not sure of the numbers, but next year at Burnley Port will be the largest cruise ship arrivals they've ever had. Wow, that's going to be exciting. That's for the year? So Burnley's starting to pick up as a cruise port. Maybe you can give us some hints on what's happening there. Have they rebuilt the port? Have they rebuilt the terminal? Or is it just the same, sort of like um, um, what is it, a standard cargo port? Because I know that there are some ports somewhere in some countries where it's for the year. Okay, thanks for that, Jonesy. Yeah, it's for the year. But I do know that in some places, like if you go into Port Chalmers, that their cruise port, they don't have a cruise terminal. It is the regular cargo port, and they just make some space for the cruise ship. In it goes. Last time I was in Dunedin, we came in and there was a pipe band blowing the ship in and piping the ship out. It was awesome, really exciting. Um, so yeah, we'll see how things go. Now Jonesy is saying, no, just off the bus, passengers to the middle of town. That's awesome. So it is a standard cargo port. It's not a cruise port. So that's cool. Um, um, how big is Burnie? How many people in Burnie, Jonesy? Is it what is it? 40,000, 50,000, a million people in Burnie? It's a nice, but it's a great area, folks. You really got to go down there and check it out. Really do have to go down. Having said that, um, you've also got to go and look at Adelaide, the city of churches. That is quite an exquisite place. Look, not to offend the South Australians or the Western Australians, both Adelaide and Perth I consider to be just oversized country towns. That's the feel. But having said that, you want to go there, enjoy the time. Adelaide is known as the city of churches because it's got like a bucket load of churches everywhere. Perth still goes on the rise that it is the holder of the first America's Cup outside of the U.S. Because it was the Australia too, the yacht that won the America's Cup outside of where was it, New York, and came into and brought the cup down to Australia. Jonesy says Burnie's got 25,000 people. That's awesome. Cedar World, welcome aboard. Nice to have you here, guys. We're just talking about cruising and what's happening down under and places to see around Australia. So, yes. Oh, someone's just popped in at 2029. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Good morning. Are you just getting home from work, or are you still at work? Or are you just sleeping in? So, yeah, the America's Cup, I think it was 1987. I could be wrong, but that's when the New York Yacht Club lost the America's Cup after 123 years. They lost the America's Cup to Australia, and the next competition was held in Australia, and we subsequently lost it to the US again, but then the US lost it eventually to the New Zealanders, and then now it's been going around the world. So it'd be interesting to see if the New York Yacht Club actually makes it back again, wins it back. Jonesy's at home with a flu. That's no good, mate. You're not allowed to be home with a flu. I didn't give you permission. But it is flu season down under, so hopefully everything you get better well. and quickly. Cedar World is saying Jane Ann travels same time here, getting ready for work. So um, whereabouts are you, Cedar World? I know that John and Nancy are in New Hampshire. That's where they are. Where are you? And when was the last time you were on a cruise? And when's your next cruise? Where are you going? And if you can, see your way to come down to Australia for the 2nd of January 2025. You're in Orlando. Awesome. I believe that's where J and N go, and Winter. They're one of the snowbirds. So I think they go down to Orlando because they get some work at Disney. So that's cool. John Cedarworld, I'm getting off work in a half hour. So you are at you are at the place that gives you the cash to be able to jump on the cruise ships. Because I mean, you're going cruising in October, correct? So that'd be awesome. What ships and where are you going? That would be awesome to see. In the meantime, down under, we're still hoping that we get a bucket load of people sailing, get a bucket load of people coming in and seeing our fair countries, because not only are we looking at Australia, but across the ditch to New Zealand. You actually want to go there. New Zealand, you can actually have a look at where they filmed The Hobbit. And I believe that's just outside of Dunedin, if I'm not mistaken. And then also not too far from there, it's the well, New Zealand is just one big fat film scene. So there we go. Stream Elements is saying, welcome to Humpday with the Down Under Cruises. Please support our channel so that we can support Helping Hands for Cruising. John is saying that he'll be spending 4 months in Florida next winter. And Cedar World is saying the next cruise is July 14 on the Carnival Liberty to Nassau. That is a bucket list cruise for us, going down to Nassau to have a look. I mean, for us, going over to the U.S. and doing any cruise out of there is a bucket list cruise, because in our case, it just costs a screaming fortune to get out of Australia. J&N is saying, Sean just booked another Carnival cruise for October out of New York. That's amazing. Where's that cruise going to go? Do you know? Jonesy is saying that he's been watching tour guides on 9 and they went to the North Island of New Zealand. Yeah, I like that show. That's it's interesting. They have some interesting characters there. J&N is saying you will love it here. So much to do here. And Radio Jonesy is saying looks very cool. It is. Actually, if you look at the two, North Island and South Island, so the North Island is actually quite scenic. The South Island has got a lot of natural things, like, for example, there's geysers and sulfur pools and all sorts of things there. If you go into a place called Rotorua, they call that Bad Egg City, because of all the sulfur. It smells like bad eggs. But also, I'll tell you, when we were on the Golden Princess, we went into Milford Sound. So it went from Australia from Melbourne. We sailed through and it went to Milford Sound first stop. And as we were going into Milford Sound to have a look, we actually were escorted by a pot of dolphins. It was absolutely exquisite. Well. G'day, Sir Paul. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you there. Have you here. Be careful if you're driving. Otherwise, I hope you're having an awesome time. Jonesy was saying he was in New Zealand 43 years ago. Um, yeah, I was there pretty well. I've been twice. Once was 43, and the other one was almost almost 6 years ago. So there we go. So g'day, Sir Paul. There's V. G'day, V. Nice to have you on board. Nice to see you here. And hello, all you. No, you've got to do this in a V tone of voice. Hello, all you beautiful people. That's V. Um, yeah, Jonesy, it does feel like yesterday. Let me say, um, we've got. G'day, Jimmy. How you going, mate? Getting yourself ready for work, I assume. And if so, I'll be happy to check out your channel tonight later on for you. That'll be tomorrow morning my time. So anyway, that's cool. Jimmy is saying g'day to V, and V tells me I had perfect pitch. That's awesome. But I'm a good mimic, V, I can tell you that. Jimmy is saying g'day to Jonesy, and yes, sir. So awesome. We'll see you later. Typical Aussie format. Jonesy is going, Jimmy? Can just imagine Jonesy sitting there with his cap on his hat, and he's going, Jimmy? G'day, mate. That's kind of what it's like. John is saying g'day to Paul, Jimmy and V. And Jimmy is saying happy hump day. Well, thank you, sir. Hump day is nearly over for us, but happy hump day to you. V is saying hey Jonesy, Jimmy and Paul. And g'day John. And V is g'day John. And hi there Paul from Jimmy. Hi V from Jonesy and V. Hi Cedar Wilt. That's cool. Now we've caught up with the chat. Yes, so going and having a look at New Zealand is awesome. One thing I would suggest, folks, if you did come in and you went into a place called Wellington, you would be at the capital of New Zealand. But not only is it the capital of New Zealand, it is the home of New Zealand rugby, because that's where the main body for New Zealand rugby lives. There is a great deal of rivalry between New Zealand and Australia when it comes to the game of rugby. New Zealand thinks that they've invented rugby, and Australia feels that they've invented rugby. The Canadians think they play rugby, and the Brits, well, they kind of feel like they own the rugby. So there we go. Yes, rugby is a sport, V. Let's get that right. Yes, it is a sport. It's a type of football. It's one of the football codes. You Canadians do play rugby. If you don't know, go and check it out. Yeah, it's exciting. G'day PSV from Jonesy. Yes. Jonesy, just a quick one, mate. Don't know if you were on the chat at the time, but during the day today, Bentleigh was having his go. He then changed his name to YouTube Police or whatever he calls himself. So it was actually quite funny, quite cool. But then the phone rang, so I had to take care of business. V has watched rugby. A little bit of news for you too, V. The French play good rugby too. So there we go. France, Ireland, Wales, England, Canada, Argentina, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia. About 30 odd countries play rugby. Well, excuse me. Fiji, Samoa. Jonesy went to his first rugby game in Tasmania last Saturday. Serious, mate? Not into the rugby? Mate, you got to get into it. It's better than that Aussie rules crap. Oops. I've just offended half of the Australian community. Um, at any rate, um, oh, was it Union or was it League? Devonport versus Hobart. Was it Union or League? And if it was a Union game, the best games are the provincials in inverted commas. Um, they are awesome to watch. So yes, so the more we go cruising, the more I feel, and I don't know, V, you and a couple of others that were there. Um, uh, you would attest to the fact that a good group cruise, along with a helping hands for cruising a recipient, certainly does change everybody's life that's there. Jonesy was saying the standard was pretty good union. Oh, that's cool. Nice to see. Cedar World says hello to V and Paul. And Jimmy says rugby is not that popular here in the US. Yeah, we know. We know, because when you guys come out here and play rugby, we beat the crap out of you. So do the Canadians. They beat the hell out of you too. But hey, you're much better at us than at baseball and ice hockey and some of the other sports out there. So there we go. Paul saying g'day to see the world. Jimmy is saying many private leagues but never see any television broadcasts of it here. Yeah, because I don't think for you guys it brings enough money. No rugby league here. Yeah, I'm finding that interesting, Jonesy, because everything is sort of spreading out. So, like, you're getting Aussie rules down there in Tassie as well. I believe you guys are going to be starting an Aussie rules team. Whilst I can understand union, rugby league's an interesting one too, though. Jimmy is saying that's true regarding rugby. American football is king here. Yep, it's kind of like Australian rules football, only in terms of the popularity is what I'm saying, not exactly the same, but it's kind of like Aussie rules football here in some states, like for example South Australia, Victoria, New South, not so much New South Wales because that's more of a rugby league state, but Tasmania, they're all Aussie rules, and then you get rugby being played a lot in New South Wales, Western Australia, Queensland is huge in rugby as well. So, and then of course the rivalry between Australia and New Zealand. So the region is pretty tight. Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga. These are all rugby fanatical countries. Jonesy is saying AFL is everywhere, and Jimmy is saying g'day to see the world. So yes, so we're looking at some exciting things happening, and really jumping on a cruise ship will be an amazing thing to do for you guys. Hopefully some of you will get to do some of the repositioning cruises that'll bring you down from the US through the South Pacific to Australia. That'll be exciting, and then we'll get your cruise ships to run around. We'll usually get your hand-me-downs as usual, but that's, what can I say? Cedar World says g'day to Jimmy, and Jimmy says, do they broadcast any American sports there? Jimmy, we get to see the American sports at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Usually at those times they'll broadcast things like some of the finals to the your NFL, your National Football League. Baseball is pretty big down under as well. Pay TV, as Jimmy says, we've got pay TV here called Foxtel. They will show all the U.S. sports. So yeah, we do get to see some of your stuff. Most of it we've got to pay for or stay up very late for. So there we go. Um, Heading out for work, says Cedar World. Now everyone have an awesome day. Cedar World, you too, my friend. You have an amazing day, and hopefully things go easily for you and you stay safe. Facebook user, g'day. Now, it's either Bonnie or it is some other sneaky person like Rod or someone like that. Hang on, let me just go see if I can check out Facebook and I'll tell you who it was. I believe it's Bonnie, but there we go. Yes, so so we'll have some exciting things happening. Yeah, Jonesy saying g'day to Facebook. And let me have a look. So that's there. Let me look. Is it in the creators, which I think it will be? Anyway, only good things are happening. We'll be getting lots of exciting itineraries happening. Tasmania certainly should be on the bucket list for a lot of people. G'day Rob, welcome aboard. How you going? No, you weren't first up. Sorry to say, but I think you're getting ready for work. So nice to have you on board. You've got a cruise coming up shortly. When is it? Jimmy's asking, saying, have a great evening, everyone. Need to finish getting ready for work. Mate, nice to see you on board. Thank you for popping in. Please have a safe day. And we will... Oh, it was Robert. See, I was right to start. Yeah, so, Jimmy, please have a safe day at work. And I'm glad you are fully accredited now as a in inverted commas paramedic, but I know you're not. See you tomorrow, says Jimmy to both Jonesy and myself. And have you got the gale force wind alert for tomorrow, Sean? No, mate, haven't got it. You obviously do. Well, I'll probably find out about the gale force winds probably when I wake up. I've got to go to Officeworks and get some get an ink cartridge for my printer, so we'll see how we go. Rob is saying, sorry, I was still working, was placed on the graveyard shift. What? That's not cool. Well, yes it is, I guess, because it means I'll catch you coming home. So there you go. Jimmy is going, thank you, Sean. Yes, recertified for 2 more years. Awesome. Unfortunately, I have to do my updates every year. Jonesy is saying the whole island in on wind warnings. Oh, wow. That's not cool. Well, you better tie your kangaroo down, sport. Oh, no, sorry. Yep, that is another person who has apparently recently passed away, was Rolf Harris, who did that song, Tie Me Kangaroo Down, Sport. Apparently he passed away today or yesterday. So, a bit of sad news from that point of view. Yeah, I just said that. Anyway, that's the kind of thing that we would do, is just pick up a couple of words from a song and just start mentioning it, and you eventually hear who the artist is or whatever. So there we go. So, folks, what can I say? Jonesy is going, Jake the Pake with the extra leg. Yes, remember that song? He did a few songs like that. I think he hit the top parade at one point. And then, unfortunately, things didn't go his way. However, it is what it is. Justice was served, apparently. Okay, so we've been watching some of the Code 4 for Life. They did a cruise to Alaska on one of the Holland America ships, and I can tell you, I do not want to go to Alaska unless it's the middle of summer, because I know I will freeze my whatchamacallit off, and I don't do the cold very well. Jonesy is saying he went downhill from 2014. Yep, that's right. That's when it all started to fall apart for him. Um, excuse me. Whilst Alaska is a beautiful area, it is beautiful. From the videos that we see, and it is a bucket list for both of us. Um, I would rather go there when it's summertime, sort of like your the season ends around about September, I believe. So I would rather be going right when it's then. It's like um, Jonesy is saying, you're from Melbourne, you do cold, mate. I don't do cold very well, personally. I don't like it when it's too cold, and I don't like it when it's too hot. For me, the best time of the year is um, late autumn, early spring, because it's still fresh. The mornings are fresh, but the days pan out nice. Now, Jonesy, you could take that into another song, my friend. Do 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 da da da. The rest of the words. Um, Very quickly, let me look at something else here for a second. Ah, yes. Stream Elements are saying support the channel by purchasing our merch. The Down Under Cruises, there's the merch, the channels. We are in the throes of putting in another merch store, which would be better suited to the Aussies. So, yep, come on in, check them out. Oh yeah, YouTube police. You're right. I shouldn't, but I can do it. You can do it, as long as you don't play their music with them singing for any decent length of time. But yes, you could. I could sing any song I like. I can do it very badly. Let me tell you. And I don't believe I would be offending the YouTube police. Anyway, so yeah, they were doing the Holland America cruise ship to Alaska. Some of the things they were saying on Holland America looked very nice. Some of the things they didn't like, but again, that's personal taste, I believe. So there we go. It is what it is. Some of the other things that were being spoken about were other cruises down to Belize, and you know what? From our point of view, going back to the U.S. will be a bucket list. We definitely need to win some of the lotteries so that we can afford to do cruising. I would like to be in the position where some of the other channels are, every weekend there's a different cruise. Again, in Australia, there's very few cruises that are 2 and 3 days, like weekends, and that's a shame. You guys in the US have a better opportunity to cruise and pick up the points and go up the levels, the loyalty levels, whereas in Oz, basically, cruising has died right now. There's only one cruise line, P&O. So, and then we've got to travel up to Brisbane or Sydney to go and get on them. So it's, it does become a costly affair. And unfortunately, everything here is being paid in US equivalent dollars. So if you have a look now at the exchange rate, one US dollar buys 66 Australian. So that's like, you Yanks can come over here and have a good time. G'day, Danny. Welcome aboard. Just nice to have you here. Good morning. Just waking up. Well, good morning to you. Good evening to us. I hope you have the most pleasant day. Rob is saying he's doing 11 to 11 at 2.5 rate of pay. That's cool. 2 free meals, 8 extra PTO for doing the graveyard shift. That's exciting. That means the tax man's going to be really happy. Danny is saying she did. She did what? You did what? You woke up. Seems like you had a good sleep. Well, that's cool. Yes, so if you folks do have the opportunity, please come on down, join us here. Hey, Mr. What's his name? Oh yeah, Rob. Oh, that's right, Rob. Well, wait a minute. I know Rob's going to bite back and make some other smarty pants comment. But yes, come on down under, spend some time down under, visit Australia, go to a place called Coopapedy or Alice Springs. Better still, go and see a place called Uluru. Hey, if you don't know Uluru, look it up on Dr. Google. It'll give you the map of where Uluru is and what it is. And Jonesy, don't open your mouth. Let them do it. Let them check it out. Stream Elements is saying, please check out the Helping Hands for Cruising website. It's helpinghandsforcruising.org. Check it out. Have a look at it. It'll lead you to some of our exciting things. It'll lead you to our YouTube channel and to our shop. So we can get some more funds in, so we can get some more people on board a cruise ship. Speaking of cruises, Kenny's got one happening in 170 days, I believe. So support is all going to be good. Now we've got a cruise-a-thon happening in the middle of this month. Was it next month? June. In June, there's a cruise-a-thon happening. I've forgotten the dates, but I will get the dates to you guys. It'll be presented on our channel on Saturday. Your Friday night across the pond. Saturday at midday brunch. We'll announce exactly when the cruise-a-thon is. Folks, join us on that cruise-a-thon. We've got channels from all around the world putting in their 2 cents worth, collecting some funds for the Helping Hands for Cruising group channel so that we can get some people in there. Jonesy is saying thumbs up, folks. Yes, please. We'd appreciate that. Danny is correcting me. It's July the 6th to the 9th. Thank you, young lady. Appreciate that. Oh, I got to do something. Give me 1 second, because I've got to do something, because a certain person is in the channel, and I've got to do something for that certain person. There we go. So somebody will be getting a lovely surprise there. Okay, so V has just said good evening. So what can I say? Good evening, young V. Danny, I need you to jump onto the Helping Hands for Cruising channel if you don't mind, please. And that will help me out immensely. Because then something will happen there. You know what I mean. V is saying exactly Danny. Danny is saying no problem. Oh yeah, Sean. That's cool. And V is saying multitasking too early. Yeah, well, I'm trying to multitask, but I'm not good at it. I'm just a mere male. Good morning, beautiful people. Oh, sorry. That was said in V tone. That should have been Danny saying that. Danny saying one sec. And Danny has got hearts. There you go. Nice to see. All right. So now I need to just do a refresh. Yep. I think methinks, and hopefully that'll get something else happening. Okay. So exciting things are happening. Cruises are going. People are getting to know each other, and V is saying, Ilana is queen. You are right. She keeps you in check. She does. And I can tell you, I'm happy for her to be in check, to keep me in check. Danny is saying, tell the beautiful Ilana. I will. She's in the other room at the moment. I think she may have organised to go to bed. She's had a long busy day. So there we go. Danny's got the giggles. And hi from me. So hopefully you've put a comment in the Helping Hands for Cruising channel there, Danny. It would be awesome if you do. V's got green hearts, so that's exciting. Oops. Yep. So that's really exciting. Okay, Stream Elements is saying, welcome to Humpday. With the Down Under Cruisers, please support the channel so that we can support HH4C. Awesome. I read that one out beforehand. All right, folks, what can I say? We've got our standard show coming up this weekend on Friday evening for those across the pond. And midday for us this side of the pond. V is saying hello, beautiful people. Check. Done. Okay. There we go. And V is going hearts. And Danny, the supporter, is saying, what's up, V? So there we go. Everybody's talking to each other. And that's nice to see. All right, now I need to do something over here because that's taking way too long. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this. And I need to be very quick on the hammer here because if I'm not quick, then I will get a noise that I don't want to get. Let me do this. And then I will do... There we go. Got in quick, smart. There we go. Okay, so... Oops. There we go. Sorted. That's sorted that one out. That's cool. All right. Nice. Nice. So now we've got a couple of things going on here, folks. So there we go. It's 5 past the hour, folks. What I'm going to do now is call it quits. We shall continue. We don't need the noise. I don't know what the noise is anyway, but that's okay. Go to Fly Loves. But folks, what I'm going to do is call it quits for tonight. Wishing you a fantastic hump day. And please, folks, if I can say this, if you have the most awesome day, Please stay safe, and we'll catch you round the traps. Take it easy. Have fun. Bye now.